What's up, dude? I don't know if you remember me or not, but I'm that one guy. Anyways, it's been a little bit, so let's take care of this. Yeah. Let's see. Sing a Song of Blue, 152. Ooh. Oh, this is good. So what's up? Sing a Song of Blue. The wild, squeal-filled game of tag ended when Dave and his two little sons collapsed on the grass. Blinking up at an ice blue sky, it was the first time he had ever seen Dagan and Devin in 7 days. He had picked them up at their mom's for a weekend of roughhousing and snuggling. As they lay on their backs, breathing hard and blinking up into the brilliant sun, it's almost gone. It's gone. 5-year-old Dagan said, "Why is the sky blue, Dada?" He asked in the confiding way of children, never doubting that Mommy and Daddy have all the answers they need. Dave smiled, amazed at the happy coincidence behind this question. 3 days ago, it would have stumped him. But studying for a teaching degree, Dave was taking a physics class this term, just 2 days before his professor had discussed the science behind the simple phenomenon. In his best teacher's voice, Dave begun, "Light comes from the sun. Right, Dagan? Right, Dada. And did you know that air has tiny invisible things in it called molecules? We can't see the molecules, but sometimes a bunch of them clump together. And we get rain. Water is one kind of molecule, but there are others too. We just can't see them. Are you with me so far?" "Yes, Dada." "Well, the light from the sun has lots of different colors in it. You know that prism Mommy has? The glass thing with that when you put it in the sun, all the colors of the rainbow shine out. Those colors are all the colors hiding in the sunlight. Well, blue is one of those colors. And when the blue light bumps into the tiny molecules in the air, the molecule grabs that blue color and bounces it around the sky. They like blue the best, the molecules do, and when they scatter the blue light around like pixies scattering fairy dust, you see a blue sky." "Wow," Dagan answered softly, shifting his head on Dave's chest so he could feel the vibrations of his father's voice. It was one of his favorite snuggle positions. Dave smiled. It was a happy moment. That moment was rare idly in a sea of turbulence. He was sure he had contributed to the marital turmoil that caused his wife to leave him 2 years before, but he couldn't help feeling depressed and resentful. She'd moved in with a man who abused the boys physically and verbally. When Dave went to the authorities, the boys clammed up, afraid that if they told that they would give to go live in a foster home. He felt abandoned by the system that was meant to protect his kids, and by God, if God even existed. Days later, alone, late at night, in a deserted dental office, Dave wiped down counters, vacuums, carpet, and washed the windows that reflected back his own haggard face. He had attended classes all day and had just begun his swing shift job as a janitor. The problem with a lonely, mindless job like this was that it was too easy to add up your troubles. Depressed, Dave didn't turn to the office radio to keep him company as he usually did. The radio sat on high, on a shelf, and the patient records at Clove, and tonight he just didn't have the energy to reach up and switch it on. He walked straight into one of the examination rooms and began cleaning the floor in silence. His anguished thoughts filling his head and bursting point. He wasn't worth anything to anyone. His ability to stick with school was doubtful. After all, he'd dropped out many times before. He could hear his own dad telling him he was useless. When Dave tried to follow his directions, his dad sneered. "Do I have to draw a picture for you? Are you stupid?" Now he couldn't even protect his own children. Each time he complained to the children's services, his kids suffered more because of his speaking out. What kind of parent was he to let his children suffer? As he wiped off a counter, he picked up the photo of one of the hygienists kept of her kids. Two blonde, blue-eyed cuties. His eyes filled as he thought of Dagon's trusting face. His eyes filled as he thought of Dagon's trusting face, that same face clouded with confusion when he asked Dave why his mom's boyfriend liked to hit him. He was a failure as a father, just as his own dad had failed him. He replayed the words he heard his father say every time he got angry. "I'm gonna kill myself." Tears brimmed in his eyes. It was time. Dave mentally turned to a familiar scenario. His final solution. On the 10-mile drive home from his job, he pictured how it would end. A part of the highway was lined up with 100-year-old valley oaks. He would get up speed on the straightaway just before the trees jerked the wheel to the right. Just within seconds, there'd be nothing left but a tangled clump of steel and a broken, lifeless body. His old Bonneville from pre-airbag days would become his coffin. He pictured what an oak tree would look like from behind the windshield of his car as the tree emerged out of the fog, growing larger in his headlights, then total peaceful blackness. No noise, no sadness, no fear, nothing. He resolved to do it. Tonight would be the night. Strangely calm, almost elated, and then he'd make a clear decision. Dave lowered the blinds and left the examination room, shutting the door behind him. For the last time, he thought, dragging his cart into the above. He stopped. He heard music. Funny, he hadn't heard it before. The radio was piped into all the rooms that he had been cleaning for the last 30 minutes. He knew he hadn't turned it on. "Who's there?" Dave shouted, thinking someone must have come in, but no. The security door would have buzzed. "That's weird," he thought, shrugging it off, lifting his mop out the pail. Then he froze, mop suspended in midair. He couldn't shrug off what his eyes were watching, something like, "Daddy, why is the sky so blue? When I grow up, I want to be just like you." As the song continued, Dave stared dumbly at the speaker and the ceiling and collapsed to his knees, like a first-class letter. Someone had just addressed him, a message to him. He never heard the song before, and there it was, a message bouncing out over the airways. For him, a radio turned on by an unseen power. For him, he was sure of that. A flood of tears washed over him, and he was engulfed in the most incredible feeling of love and release of pain. A feeling like he had never known before. But the warm embrace of love was followed by a jolt of sheer terror. What am I doing? If I kill myself, there will be no one there to protect Dagon and his little brother. Within seconds, his final solution was revealed as a ridiculous idea. What someone once called a permanent solution to a temporary problem. "I knew then there was a God," said Dave later. "I knew he loved me and that he was there to protect me and teach me, just like I'm here to protect and teach my kids." That night was a wake-up call and a turning point in my life. I still have problems with depression. My boys continue to have problems with their mom's boyfriend until that courts finally granted a restraining order against him. But if that radio hadn't come on when it did, I would not be here today. That God wink gave me the courage and conviction to carry on. It was the ultimate hang in there. There is a God and you can connect with him if you will only try, said Dave. Dave learned the song he heard. It was called Father's Love by Bob Carsley and Randy Thomas. Daddy, why is the sky so blue today? Does Jesus really hear me when I pray? I like that one. I hope you see this. I hope you get to talk to me about it. But at the same time, if it's the last one, then, you know, I'm glad it was this one. That one's important. Just gotta keep hanging in there. All right, kiddo? All right. You're doing great. I believe in everything you put your mind to. No matter what it is. As long as you want to do it. All right. I guess that's it. I could yap about that one for a long time, but it's already at 12 minutes, so. Always and forever. You know where to find me.